All right, and welcome back to Lesson Plans to Laces. This is episode 3, the podcast where we take modern day educational topics and we put them through the lens of two sneaker teachers. I am Jalidor, Mr. Alidor. I am Jalidor across all social media channels, and I'm joined today by my co host, Mr. Guzman. Mr. Guzman, so go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell people where you are and where you can be found.
Hey, I'm Mr. Guzman. I am a special education teacher in Los Angeles, California. I go by Teacher Heat. I showcase teachers from time to time. I show fit pics and I do outfits of the day and social commentary, all that stuff. Teacher Heat on all social media platforms.
Yeah, there you go. And our goal today, this is episode 3. We are kind of in the second phase of a two-parter, right? The two-part episode we wanted to do, episode 2, was called Grading the Hype. And we talked a lot about rubrics and how exactly you grade an assignment, but also how do you grade a sneaker? Like there's so many different sneaker types out there that you got to have reasons why something ends up in your collection, right? And last episode, we took a couple of different criteria. And today, we're actually going to do some blind ranking. So this is going to be fun. But before we get into that, Goose, quick icebreaker. Last week, we talked about movies, right? And goated movie series. Yeah. I am way behind. I am a disgrace to my millennial generation. I just watched Toy Story 3 for the first time. I am that far behind.
Jesus.
So, yeah. No.
I thought
I
you were going to
decided
say Toy
after,
Story 5. Toy Story
right?
3, like that was like 15 years ago.
I know. I felt bad because we talked a little bit about Toy Story 5 and like our off camera talk. And I was like, I can't even ask this question on the podcast legitimately without having caught up in some way. So I'm 3/5 of the way to being able to actually talk about Toy Story fully. So everyone told me it was the saddest in the series, and they're not wrong, but I'm curious where it goes from here. So that's my really bad millennial take. Do you have a movie that you have recently seen that maybe you are way out of order on? Because this is a thing that's in my house. We're not a movie household, so when we finally sit to watch a movie, we're way behind on it, and we're out of the culture for sure. So, is there a movie you haven't seen or you recently have seen that you should have seen a lot sooner?
Not recently, but I'll let you know this because of my cultural background and being a child of immigrants, I've never watched any of the Disney movies. So, like, when I was 19, that was the first time I had ever been to Disneyland. And Disneyland used to have this thing where if you went on your birthday, all you had to do, you could go in for free, and all you had to do was pay for the admission ticket for that day, and you would get a year-long pass, right? So the first time I went was on my birthday, and I went on my birthday so I could get that year-long pass because I was going to go the next day. So we go to Disneyland, and I went with my girlfriend, now wife, and we're going through all these rides, and I'm like, "What are these rides? Like they suck. Like, this is like a terrible thing." She goes, "What do you mean? It's like the movies." I said, "Like what movies?" And she's
Oh
like,
no.
like Peter Pan." I was like, "I've never seen Peter Pan." And she's like, "Well, the rest of the rides are not going to be much better if you've never seen it." Like I never saw Snow White. I
Oh
never
wow.
saw Peter Pan, Pinocchio. I never saw all that stuff. Like that was foreign to me. So that place is not some like, oh my god, like these are all my childhood. Like I watched them because I never watched any of them. It wasn't until I had children that I really watched more of them,
Okay.
and I can see how much they enjoy it more than I do. But those are all movies where I was way behind on those. Um, and it wasn't until I went to Disney that I was like, man, people really like people really like this stuff.
That's funny. That's just it's such a cultural thing to like grow up around Disney that you're the first person that I've ever met that did not watch at least a couple coming up. But it makes sense though, like you said. You said because of your cultural background, so I can see where if it just wasn't a part, like that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the first things I really started watching that were Disney. It wasn't even Disney back then. It was like Pixar stuff. Like those were really like the
Oh,
first ones because we were much older. We were much more like ingrained within the culture. Like these were all things that were very popular at the time. So now we wanted to be part of it. But like all those old movies, no. If you remember, I don't know if you remember this, but they used to vault all the movies. You couldn't get them.
oh yeah.
they would release the movies like year by year, and like I remember my wife wanted Beauty and the Beast,
Mhm.
and like I went on eBay to find Beauty and the Beast, and it was like $100
Oh, yeah. No,
to get the
there's
movie on
definitely
Blu-ray.
demand there.
Yeah, and then one year they unvaulted it, and I bought it for like 25, $30 on Blu-ray. But like back then, you couldn't get. Now you could just go on the app and just pop it open. Here, what movie do you want to see from the last 100 years?
Oh,
Like we're
man.
good.
So have you had like an educating moment where you get to like run through? Because I know with like the Marvel movies, I haven't watched them in order, so I have to be like educated by my nephew, who's definitely in my grill about having not seen them in order. Have you gone back and seen like some of the old school movies?
Yeah, I've seen most of them at this point, but I'm not very into them. Like they're kind of they're good and all that, but like they're much older. If you remember, they were like super racist at one point, and it's like, all right, well, I mean, what can you do? It's like a sign of the times and all that, but you're like, trying to like, these are cultural moments for your kids, and it's stuff they like, and they like going to Disneyland and all that stuff. So you're kind of like, oh yeah, let's watch this stuff. I've watched almost all of them. I get the gist at this point. Good things happen, bad things happen. Everyone ends up happily ever after.
That's fair. That's fair. It's pretty easy storyline to follow. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
ask like, do they live up to the hype? But it definitely hits different when you're in your 30s or 40s watching it for the first time. I'm sure, right? Like
yeah,
I've got a few that like definitely hit home as far as like, oh, they're so great, and then yeah, if you watch them again, you're like, this is actually kind of not great.
yeah. The very first show I watched that was like the it show that was like all my other friends were watching in elementary was Power Rangers. I
Oh
remember
man.
we had this small little TV, and my uncle put it on, and he said, "This is what the other kids are watching," because we didn't know. Like it's just like we had to find out. Like this is what they're watching. It was Power Rangers, and that was like one of the first shows that I was like, "Oh, you guys watch Power Rangers? Like I'm like you guys." I watched it. I didn't really understand the language at that point, but I was watching the same show, and it kind of got me that like rapport with these kids, with my colleagues, right, with my young other student friends.
Okay, nice. My brother was a Power Rangers guy. We were separated enough in age that Power Rangers wasn't my vibe. I was a Ninja Turtles kid, and so,
Yeah.
but I ended up watching Power Rangers with my brother. We're only 4 years apart, but that was like he was born in '88. I was born in '84. So there's like a fine dividing line on pop culture for some things where he's like, oh no, I was super into Pokemon. I was like, okay, I missed that
Yeah.
run. So that's cool though. Well, it's funny you said that you wanted to watch them to like catch up and like be like in the cultural zeitgeist, right? And that's kind of the
Mhm.
way with sneakers too, right? Like there's some silhouettes and some things that I definitely feel like, oh, I should like this because so many people do, and dude, it just does not hit for me. And we talked
Yeah.
last week about our rubrics, right? Uh, Remind everybody what your rubric points were. What are the things that you grade a sneaker on whenever you evaluate whether or not you're going to buy it or not?
Yeah. So mine was the storytelling. Um, I talked about that top-down view, that camera view from your perspective. Like I love that shot, and it's really gonna tell me if it looks good on feet. And then the very last thing was who made it, who designed the shoe, especially if it's a collab, right? Who designed the shoe? And for me, it's not really about like an overarching grade. It's kind of like if one of those things is met, I'm probably gonna, like the shoe and try to buy it. So I'm a very consumer friendly sneaker purchaser. Not so much anymore, but that was at my peak what I was kind of looking at.
I like how you talk about like it's a sliding scale, right? Like if this one thing really hits, like if it's who made it, done. I think you said last week if it's an LA designer of color, boom, done. It's in your
Yeah,
collection.
yeah, that's pretty much like a gimme. Like like I love all kids of immigrant stuff.
Yeah.
And like I don't mean like kids of immigrants like making stuff. I mean the brand Kids of Immigrant, right? I know some people won't know what brand that is, but there's a brand called Kids of Immigrants, made by kids of immigrants,
Yeah.
and pretty much anything they make, they're like LA based. Is like, yeah, I'm gonna try to buy that.
Well, it definitely doesn't hurt that everything they've put out these last couple of years has been really, really good, and it's hit the cultural zeitgeist. So that if you didn't know about the brand, like I didn't know about the brand, and the Sunders last year were was that last year or the year before? At this
That
point,
was
I'm
the year
start.
before because they came out in December. Remember, they weren't part of the complex panel because they came out while they were doing the video, and it was like they got lost there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
the
like,
Foot Locker Bros didn't get to vote on whether that one belonged or not.
oh no, we're not doing that.
Oh, we are
No,
because it
you are wild.
because
You are
it
wild.
did, dude. Because that one did belong in Sneaker of the Year, and just because it didn't hit the right time, that nobody got to vote on it as like the thing. It definitely was a sneaker. That's why it threw me off. Is was it last year, or the year before?
Yeah,
Because it was so late.
it came out at a weird time, but no, you're 100% right. That was the sneaker of the year that year. Like it
Yeah.
was without a doubt. It just the way it came out. But they made this, oh my goodness. I still like am mad about it because when they started, they made this Vans collab.
Okay.
It was a old school collab where it was one was black and one was the navy. You know, those are like the two like most iconic colors,
Yeah.
and with the kids of immigrant on the tongue. And I did not know how to get that shoe, and I was like trying and all this stuff, and it was what it wasn't, what was that other app that they had? It wasn't Whatnot. There was another app that they used to release shoes on.
Okay.
um, I forgot what it was called, but it was through that app, and man, there was none. Like they were
Yeah.
backdoored essentially to like all the friends and family, and I still want that shoe because it is such a good pair of Vans, and Vans are so LA, everything about it. Kids of Immigrant, that was like one of their very first collabs, and it wasn't until years later that the Thunder came out where I was like, how do I get this one? I'm gonna miss out like the Vans. I just sent a message like, hey, I need these. Is there a way that I finally, like, I wouldn't do that back when I was younger. Now that was like, I'll send a message to people like, hey, is there a way I can like support? Where are they releasing? Or just buy them resale. But that's a shoe that definitely can, like, that's a company I could support.
Oh, for sure, and and like I said, they've been doing great stuff. Like the Sunder was great. I did not know about the Vans collab. That's a little bit before my jump and comfort with them, or at least knowledge of them as a brand. I loved the mules that they recently did, the Total 90.
Yeah.
I sat there because look, I'm on kind of a shoe hiatus right now. I sat there literally with the phone in hand, like ready to push the trigger, and couldn't do it because I definitely would have caught some grief. But they were a great shoe. I don't know how much they'd have held up in Spain. I saw the cork insole, and I'm like, man, I don't want to get them there. And where we're living is really going to be maritime and all that. I didn't want those shoes to fall apart within like 2 months because that would have really hurt my heart. So, but those are great, and so I do love that you talk about those as your criterion. So yours were, like you said, story behind it, who made it, and then of course that top down view. My three, story as well, but I like the connection to something in my life or something where I can sit back and go, okay, I really am interested in that story. That aspect is part of my life deeply. And we talked about Phil and Unheard of with the grandma's couch. My grandmother had one of those exact couches that was covered in plastic. And I still to this day don't know why that was a thing, but it was absolutely a thing of the 80s and the 90s. But story and colors, I like loud colors. I am an attention seeker when it comes to mine. And then comfort because I teach all day and I gotta be comfortable on my feet. I cannot be walking 20,000 steps or up and down. My classroom at my last site was on the second floor of a 3-story building, and I still would go up to that third floor occasionally to go talk to other teachers. I can't climb stairs in LeBron's. It's I'm 41. I can't do it anymore. So those are the three mine for sure.
I was gonna ask you this. Like, for some shoes, you already know the comfort level of them. Like you just brought up LeBron's. Like
Yeah.
those shoes are not gonna be comfortable. How do you do it for shoes that you've never even worn before?
Oh man.
Like,
So
what would the because comfort obviously gets thrown out the window. Because this is what I was gonna ask you. For me, like if it hits any of those, I'm probably gonna get the shoe. But even though I didn't put comfort in there, comfort does, like, it is a highly, like, something I seek at this point, right? Because for the same reasons, right? You're on your feet all the day.
yeah.
Um, but I won't know about the comfort of a shoe until later, even for like shoes that are current, because sometimes they remodel them or they add something to them that makes them a bit comfortable, like the SB4s, right?
Hmm.
That's a shoe that normally wouldn't be as comfortable, but it is. What do you do then? Do you still buy the shoe? Because for me, once I get the shoe and it's not comfortable, it's a wrap. Like I'm probably never putting that thing on, but I'm gonna keep it or possibly give it away or something.
Yeah.
Um, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't really put it in my top three, because it's like I buy plenty of shoes where I'm not like out there trying them out and stuff. So what do you do?
So I look at the construction of it. And so do you follow wear testers on YouTube at all?
I know of them. I don't follow them, but I know of
Yeah,
them.
so Nightwing does a great job of breaking down all the things that go into a shoe, and for a really long time, he was my go-to for, and still is to a degree, but, like, he was my go-to for, okay, what is the construction of the shoe? Is it pure foam? Does it have any stability in it at all? And they've done some lifestyle models, and so as I've moved away from, like, buying hoop shoes, or Jordans, they've kind of gotten back into my niche a little bit, but I have a really wide sneaker collection. I got a lot of brands. And so if I can find something that is similarly built, and usually you can see it by sight, right? Like a lot of
Yeah,
ASICs have really similar builds. I know I'm probably going to like an ASICs. The question is whether it's like uncomfortable in the forefoot or not. And that's where that group chat that we're a part of really comes in play. But the thing that has been best for me, I have used AI more often to ask the question of like, what does it fit like? These are what's in my collection. And so if you were to see my Gemini board, it would have all of the different like, oh, this is what the Asics Joe Kayano fits like. Oh, this is what I normally wear. And actually, it's been really good about sizing. Honestly,
yeah.
like
So
I've been pretty.
you pretty much Google it and you do your research, is what you're telling
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. I try and run it through different stuff, but yeah, it's nothing. I mean, it's not like crazy science or anything, but I have messed up on a few. You talk about Vans. For some reason, Vans like hurt my heel and my Achilles, and I think that's like a break-in time thing. But there's a couple of pairs of slip-ons that I just rarely get worn because they tear my heels up, no matter how I've gotten on the fit. So
Yeah.
uh,
I mean,
that's kind of where. Go ahead.
I just wore the Jeffrey Ali XLTs for Disney yesterday. I got a blister, and then
Yeah,
like I did not think I was gonna get a blister, but that's probably like my fourth wear of that shoe.
yeah.
So it's like they're not broken in at all. So I had to like unlace them up and just like give them some room to breathe and stuff. But yeah, sometimes they're not the most comfortable. You got to kind of break them in a little bit.
I have a pair of the slip-ons. When I bought them to go to Amsterdam because the Van Gogh Museum did a cool collab with Vans, and I bought them
Yeah.
specifically for that trip. It was a hyped pair. I was so lucky I got in the queue and they arrived before, and I wore them like one day in and was like, I have made a drastic mistake. Like this is not a time to break in a pair of Vans. So I had to go buy like the little blister packs, and they're on the back of my
Oh,
heel.
the
Man,
slip ons.
I have never felt older than having to like fix a shoe just so it's more comfortable. But like now I know Vans, like I have to go down a half size that way the heel doesn't rub, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And even then, depending on what the inside sock liner is, like if it's hardcore leather, it's gonna give a really bad blister. So
Yeah, I mean, I when I buy shoes for my foot, like not a half size bigger. Like I need them to be tight.
yeah,
So, but I'm starting to realize that's from like sports, like from playing sports, from playing like footy and baseball. Like you can't have loose shoes there.
for sure.
They need to be like at like just basically around your foot, so they can't be loosening up. So I've always worn like shoes like as tight as possible. So that's I'm starting to realize that's where it comes from.
Dude, I thought I was the only one that liked like a tight one-to-one fit because I don't like the whole like I feel like I'm coming out of the shoe sometimes, and that's not cool for me.
No, even as a skater, like I wouldn't lace my stuff because that was like the style, right? Like to have like loose laces, but
Mhm.
those shoes were still super tight.
Yeah.
Like if you knew you were gonna style them with the loose, you just get half size smaller so they would be even tighter.
Oh man, and I can't imagine if you were already going true to size, going down a half size from there has got to be a nightmare, man.
Yeah, no, I mean it was fine, but it just you live and learn.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I like the combo, and we're gonna go ahead and start with our blind ranks. I got a silhouette for you. Okay. You need to tell me now. It's supposedly one of the most iconic silhouettes of all time, and we have a good friend that if he listens and hears this, he is going to just go through the roof. All right.
I
So
already know what shoe it is.
oh, you already know.
Yeah, I mean the way you're saying it,
Yeah,
it's gotta be Air Force, right?
it is. It's an Air Force One. Now I'll let you pick out highs, lows. You can talk about the Air Force One in general, but I need Aaron to hear your take on the Air Force One.
Oh goodness, you set me up, dude. And so the Air Force One is a shoe that I'm not. I have like what? I know this is gonna seem like a lot, but it's really not. I have probably like three pairs of Air Force Ones. Like when Air Force Ones were at their height with like Nelly and all that stuff, and like the '05. I don't know what is it, '05 to like '08, whatever
Roundabout.
like that time was. I would never wear that shoe in my life. It's
Oh
not a
man.
shoe that's like very nostalgic to me.
Okay.
Because I was skating Vans, like I'm a big Vans person, like slip-ons, all that stuff. So for me, that shoe was a shoe that when I did become a sneakerhead, I really had to go back and look at the history of it, and kind of understand that that shoe is a very, very pivotal shoe in
Yeah.
sneaker culture. The pairs I have now are like I can see why people would gravitate to that shoe. It looks good with everything. The top down view is amazing. It has great collabs, and like that Yachty pair is like one of my favorite pairs, and I still don't have it. That pair is so good. Just like hitting back on that like retro Bape, that patent leather. Like I love that pair. However, that's probably one of the only pairs that I like kind of resonate to. The more I'm like looking into it, there's a lot of great pairs out there. What's Dr. G? Is
Okay.
it
Yeah.
like
Dr.
his
Grovey.
collection? His election from Kicking It, his collection is insane. So like being able to see that, I can see like the nostalgic factor, but for me, it's not a shoe I gravitate towards, and you know that because you brought it up. But I see this is the thing about like when you're a sneakerhead, right? Like a sneakerhead goes and understands these things, right? Like it's not a big shoe for me, but I went and looked up and did research and understood why it's a big shoe in the sneakerhead realm. Um, Somebody who isn't a sneakerhead would just be like, "That is a trash shoe. I would never put it on my foot." Blah blah blah. Right? No, I still have pairs. It's just not the biggest shoe for me because of just the way I was growing up. Like one of my cousins, it is his pair, man. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen him wear anything other than that. Like he was wearing the mids, he was wearing everything, right? Like brand new pair of Air Forces every other week type thing because they'd crease up. So I know that there's a lot of like culture in that shoe. However, for me, not the biggest.
Okay. That's fair. Is your you said a cousin that was big
Yeah,
in
my
it, or
cousin.
is your cousin a white on white? Like, does he have the whites
Yeah,
and
just the white on white. He was never a big like collabs or like babes or anything like that. He was just
okay.
straight white on whites. Like, and back then it was the mids. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Like it was, you didn't do the highs. The highs were whack, right? It was the mids. You needed to get a pair of mids with, they just looked a little bit better, I guess. But at that point, it was just straight Vans.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
yeah.
man. Well, I like how you said like so top down view is peak. It's good. It's a good spot. But then the other things kind of hit or miss. Is just not your shoe. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I talked about the storytelling with like the Yachty because of the pan leather. Like that shoe, again, it's a great shoe. I think I know sometimes people that are very into Air Forces and all that nostalgia father might say that it's not, because they've seen that shoe probably a few times already with whatever pack that I don't know about.
Yeah.
But for me, I think that is a good shoe. Like I think that's just, it looks good. There's a story behind it. Trying to hit back to those old Bape days, um, and the designer kind of hits too.
Well, and that was going to be my specific one out of the pack. You kind of came out early on me on that one. I was going to ask about the Yachty pair because to me that's like you said, it's a throwback almost. It hits at a certain era, and that was going to be the one that I asked you to grade like right afterwards. So clearly, it hits for you on that one, and you're still trying to find it, right?
Yeah, man, that the resale price on those things is like skyrocketed. It's a crazy pair. And for like a patent leather Air Force, like it's not like something you want to buy used either. Because I mean
No,
that thing, yeah, I think those things are awful at that point because you don't know who's gonna cook them. So
yeah,
I've wanted it, but yeah, that it might be just a pair I just look at this point.
yeah. There, that's a fun question for another episode. At one point, is what's a shoe that you passed up on that like it's gone now? Like you can't find because patent leather clearly ages. It doesn't go well after a while, after a bunch of wears. So like, yeah, I'm with you. I would love to have a Yachty pair of Air Force Ones, but yeah, I'm not chasing it. And for
Yeah,
that price,
that hits your rubric as well because it's like one of the most colorful shoes.
oh,
Like,
absolutely. It was one when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I want that." And I showed it to my wife and she groaned. She was like, "Nah, that's not a look." And I was like, "Oh, but it is my look. Like you don't understand. Like that's my look."
you want me to do one? I can do one.
Yeah, hit me. What you got?
All right, we're gonna do the Pro Grid, the Saucony Pro Grid
Okay.
Triumph 4.
Oh, okay. Now, Saucony is going to hit odd for me. Okay. The Triumph 4, and I'm looking real fast to make sure that I don't mess this up. The
West Side Gun
Triumph,
Pair.
what's that?
It's the West Side Gun shoe.
Oh, the West Side Gun. Okay. Yeah,
That model.
okay. So here's the thing. I'll talk about the model first, and then I'll get into the West Side Gun collab, right? So Saucony, I like what they do, and I really do think that that shoe can be very comfortable. I have a single pair of that model. I have a couple of other Saucony pairs, but I have only one pair of that model, and it's the J Tips. It's out of the 4 pack for the Flowers Grow Uptown.
Yeah,
I have the peach pair. My wife and I both match. And I don't know what it is, but for some reason, my toes in that model, and I bought it knowing I fit perfectly fine in every other Saucony model that I have. I have the Matrix. I have the Omni Grid 9. Like I've got a bunch of different models, but for some reason, the J Tips version pushes my toes up and it's uncomfortable to wear. And I don't know if that's just me, but I didn't realize that. And so when my wife and I match on pairs, she wants to wear them often. And she's bringing those to Spain. They made her top 15 rotation. She's like, "Oh, you're bringing those too, right?" And I was like, "No, I'm not, because I don't have it in me." So I was so disappointed in that shoe because I thought it would fit a certain way. And maybe I just got a bad pair. I don't know. But my other Sauconys do not fit like that. So if we're gonna do the model itself, for mine, comfort is kind of low. It's like a 6 out of 10. It's supposed to be higher because it's a runner. You're supposed to have a lot
yeah.
more than that. I do like that their GR colors are pretty cool. I think
Mhm.
Saucony and Asics kill it when it comes to their GR stuff. Now, the West Side Gun, I love loud colors, and we're going to eventually put this on the big screen. That pair, I'm not sure about the story itself really hitting hard, but the colors are awesome. And I would absolutely rate that shoe on color 10 out of 10. So if I'm giving it 6 out of 10 for comfort, 10 out of 10 for colors, story, it's like a 4. I don't
You don't
know
like
this.
the Macho Man story?
I did not really like that one. No, no. The Macho Man story doesn't really hit with me on that one. It's a loud I like that because it glows in the dark, right? Am I mistaken something on that one?
It doesn't glow, but like when it gets hit by black light, all the colors just kind of pop even more.
Okay, that's what it was then. So that
Yeah,
part I really do like.
my
But
Saucony's is glowing.
yeah, exactly. But that's the cool part. Although, sidebar, I have a lot of glow in the dark shoes, that, like, if they hit the light right, my wife does not understand the point, and she actually asked, she's like, "Who's looking at your shoes in the dark?" And she actually has a valid point. I don't know how often that pair is getting thrown up under black light, so
I'm with her because I don't really understand the glow in the dark stuff. Like I'll buy a shoe, but it's not because it's glow in the dark. And
sure.
like when I've designed hats, so many people were just like this hat in particular, right? So I designed this hat.
Okay.
And this white part, anytime you see some white, you can make it glow in the dark, essentially, right?
Mhm.
And when I made this white, they're like, dude, just make it glow in the dark. I was like, why? Like, why can't it just be white? Like, why does it have to have something that, like, and I get it. Sometimes if you're in the dark, it's going to pop a little bit. Whoa, that's a glow in the dark hat. I didn't even know that. But,
Yeah.
like, just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? Like,
Ooh, I've never considered that when it comes to fashion, but like, yeah, no, that's a good one. Because
yeah.
I have a glow in the dark hat uh, from 8-1 down here in Houston. It's a Rockets hat, and the logo on the front and then the side patch, they'll glow, and it's really cool. And I showed it to my nephew once. Like I sat it outside, let it get the UV, and then I took it and showed it to him under no light, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool," and walked away. And I was like, "Bro, that okay? I guess the gimmick is not cool." 9-year-olds were not impressed by the
Yeah,
glow in the dark hat.
I think the gimmick works better when you don't tell anyone. Like when people find out, it's a much
Okay.
better gimmick than it is when you're like actively selling someone on glow in the dark.
Yeah, no,
Like
that's fair.
when you're in the dark and then you see your shoes glowing, you're just like, "Whoa, they glow in the dark. That's awesome." But if somebody's like, "Dude, these are glow in the dark shoes," it kind of goes to what your wife said. Like, why?
Yeah,
Why are you selling them? Why are you selling me this shoe on? It's gonna look cooler when it's black, like
true.
blackout, dark outside. It needs to look good already.
And that's kind of why I like that shoe specifically. So I would grade the silhouette itself as a C because it's uncomfortable, and everything else can't outweigh that for me because I really wanted that pair to work. I mean, I bought two pair, one for me, one for my wife. I clearly wanted it to work, and yeah, I did not do that. So that's unfortunate. So for me, the West Side Gun, I guess, is a low B, B minus because it's cool colors. But nah, I don't need the black light in my life. Just saying. So
I love that you're so much more critical than me. I'm like, does it look cool? Yeah, I like it. And you're just like, oh yeah, my toes are going up and sideways, and the ergonomics of the shoe are off and stuff.
well, dude, like I put my feet in that Saucony, and I was like, why do my feet feel weird? And I looked down, and like you can see. I was like, oh no, that's bad. And I'd already brought them home.
That's
And
hilarious.
to be fair, you talked about Dr. Grovey earlier. I had bought them at Kicking It, and we were in Austin for the weekend. I didn't put them on feet till I got home, so I was all the way back in Houston by the time I realized this is not going to be a great pair for me. So shout out to Kicking It for having them in stock, but yeah, that's not their fault that they didn't work well. So yeah, Saucony for me on that one. That's about a C. That's about a C on that rubric.
Hit me with the next one.
All right, next one for you. A little bit of hype. Okay. Hype beasts went all over for this shoe, and I have not worn the pair of these at all. So I'm curious if you have even worn a pair, but I'm sure you have thoughts and opinions about it. So the Adidas Jellyfish, right? The Pharrell joints. What are your thoughts? Where does it grade? Because you have top down view, and that's a shoe that is very striking. So talk to me about the Adidas Jellyfish. Grade it.
Man, I'm shout out Gil because I know he has a pair, and I'm so jealous. That orange pair and that blue pair are like school colors. I've been trying to get a pair forever at this point. It's one of the most expensive shoes that you can buy out. I think it's like 300
Yeah,
something
it's up there
crazy.
for retail. Yeah.
Um, top down view. Oh man, that's a beautiful shoe. I love when people wear it with oversized jeans, and it's because the shoe is oversized itself, right? When people wear that shoe with oversized jeans, like just everything baggy and the shoes are hanging out, is so good to me. The designer, of course, somebody from Virginia. At this point, he's not from LA, but he's American, so that works as well too. Um, love Pharrell, love that shoe. I don't like everything he's doing. I mean, I did do the video on Vans and how he's taken from that, but um, everything he does is really well done. Um, the jellyfish, I don't know. Is there a story to that?
I haven't seen one, and that's what threw me off is like it's I know you'll love it for top down. I figured you'd like it for who made it and some history tie back, right? Because Pharrell kind of like throwback to the Babe and Nego days,
Yeah,
but I don't know a story for the jellyfish itself.
Yeah, no, for me that shoe's a go. Like I need a pair of that shoe. That new pair, what was the one that just released or that they showed? That pair is hideous though.
Oh, the brown and yellow. There's
Yeah,
the
that
banana
one.
split colorway. Yeah,
That
because
one,
I
yeah, like the banana one. That one
yeah
is an awful pair. Like I don't care that it's a jellyfish. The all white pair, awful pair. Like
okay.
stop making like I get it. The all we just talked about the all white Air Forces and how like critical they are to like sneaker culture. That doesn't mean you make every shoe just all white. Like the best thing about the jellyfish is how he color blocked it to kind of look like a jellyfish,
Hmm.
right? With like the streaking lines. If you make it all white, you just lose all that. The same thing with the all black pair. Like,
Yeah,
and what
that's
did he
fair.
do? And what did he do? We just talked about what he did, right?
Yeah.
He made it glow in the dark.
Yeah, it ruins this that and people are like, "Oh, look, it's white on white." Well, yeah, but why? But
Well,
why?
yeah, and like I just talked about how much more like critical you are, and I'm the most like non-critical person. And if I'm over here like, dude, why? Like, then you probably like kind of messed it up.
That's
I
fair.
think I think the color blocking the way he has it is perfect. If he could just mix and match colors at that point, he's gonna take that shoe a long way. But at the same time, it's such a hard shoe to get. Like,
I was about to say
you
it's
know,
impossible to get a pair and then the price on top of it, right? Like,
yeah.
is that a shoe that if you can find it for retail, irrespective, other than the banana split colorway we just talked about, other than that pair, and maybe other than the white on whites, and other than the all blacks, I guess now we have three colors. So, are you immediate cop for all colors outside of those three?
Yeah, and I know people are gonna say it like I'm a hype beast. I really just want the orange pair because that's a school color. Like
Yeah.
that would be the best. The blue would be right after because that's another school color. Um, but I really just enjoy that shoe. I think that's like one of those kind of like sneakers into high fashion type of shoe, kind of like the
Okay.
Balenciagas,
Yeah.
where it's like kind of like a transition. I really like that. I've heard it's comfortable too, but I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't have a pair.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's a I love that shoe.
Okay. I yeah, it's not a shoe I have tried. That's why I was throwing it out there for you. Hot take before you ask mine. I actually like the banana split pair because I feel like it could work. I feel like it could be cool. But again, colors. Colors
I
are my
will
thing.
I will tell you this. There is plenty shoes where when I see someone style them, I fall in love with the shoe.
Yeah.
So like
That the chunky look is in, and I definitely know that could be a thing for sure. So I can see how they work.
well, I'm talking about with colors. Like once I see somebody put on a fit and like like tailor made GQ,
Hmm.
um, he's probably one of the best. Like whenever he wears a shoe, like he's gonna take it upon himself to wear these shoes that people say are hard to wear. And whenever he does, sometimes I'm like, okay, that shoe is way better than I thought it was. It's like
Yeah,
my thought process was so clouded, and these people who are very very stylish just do such a great job that sometimes it changes my opinion on them.
that's fair. All right, hit me with your second one.
All right, the we talked about the shoe in the chat, the Solomon XT6.
Oh, okay. So I am new to the Solomons. Okay. So I am very new to it. I have a pair of what is it? Whisper Voids. I have the Carpet Company collab. These actually, I need more Solomons in my collection because where we're moving is definitely going to be Gore-Tex, like that kind of like hybrid walk type thing.
Mm,
So I need more in my collection for sure. If I end up buying anything overseas, it's probably going to be those because those are going to be very, very like functional for what I do. So as far as like the basic, like the comfort level, I like my Whisper Voids. I like how they fit. I've taken them on a walk a couple times here to just be like, did I make a mistake? And like, this is gonna, because it was my first ever intro in. So I like them. Going to be a 10 out of 10 on comfort. As far as the colors, do they have so many wide variety of colorways on the GR? It's kind of like Saucony and the Asics. Like
soccer,
they've
yeah.
actually really hit the nail on the head as far as like, you want brown highlights? Oh, great, cool. We can bring that. You want yellow? You want a brighter one? Okay, great. And then the collabs have been really cool too, just across Saucony in general. But they've had some really good. XT6 collabs too. If I'm not mistaken, like End did one that was emerald green that was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't need it in my collection at that point, but I kind of regret not copping it now. But yeah, I would say 10 out of 10 on comfort, 8 out of 10. So high B on colors because they have so much. And then the story, depending on the collab, like could really work. What did you have a specific one that you wanted to drop and have me go after
That
it, kind of
one
like
was
the West Side Gun?
just kind of like the GRs,
Yeah,
not much.
yeah, because they do really well. Look, I'm moving into a world now where footwear is going to have to be functional. And with me being overseas, it so many pairs that I have when I was running them through Gemini, and I'm looking at what they're made of. I'm like, man, so many of my sneakers are really good wears, but they're made of suede or they're made of like this leather that's gonna end up not surviving a rain. And where I'm gonna be living is really rainy. So an XT6 right now, 10 out of 10. It's gonna get an A as an overall shoe. But if you had asked me 3 or 4 years ago, I'd have probably rated it lower because it wasn't on my radar.
Yeah, very interesting. I think Solomon's really hit that, like, people who like Saucony, Asics,
Yeah.
like, and they've kind of like melded together, right? Like, if you like Solomon, you're probably going over to Saucony, and if you like Saucony, you're moving over to Asics, and like it's just built this like really good ecosystem for people who like runners, comfortable shoes. I think for me, New Balance was one of the first brands that really got me into the comfort of shoes, and
Okay.
off of that, it just kind of shout out shout out the Foot Locker boys because they put me on.
Yeah.
New Balance was one of the first ones, and then after that, I bridged out into them, and it was just kind of like, oh, look at all these comfortable shoes I could be wearing.
Right. That's funny. The Foot Locker boys. I mean, it's not wrong. They definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's all we'll say about that for now. Maybe we'll save that one for a different day.
Oh,
But
goodness,
sorry, it is what it
getting
is.
spicy now. Three
Yeah.
three podcasts in, and you're already just trying to make enemies, huh? All right,
I mean, look, man. Anybody that listens to this podcast that knows me will be like, yeah, that kind of tracks for what he does. That tracks.
it
So
does it
I
does.
I will say this before I ask you about this third one, and I think you can go for a long time about this third one. But Solomon's great. I do. I think again, the more that they do as far as the functionality of it is really cool, and getting into fashion more like because I'm going to have a limited wardrobe, and I'm seeing what flies over in Spain versus what flies in America. I'm definitely going to be cited as an American for sure with like three-quarters of my wardrobe. But like the idea of the baggy pants and the Gorp core kind of look is big in Spain and big in Europe. And so I am interested to try and mold my style to match more of what Solomon and what the runners does best. Cause I am coming out of like an Adidas phase, a Jordan phase in my collection where, yeah, I'm going to have a little bit more functional stuff. Otherwise, I'm just going to burn through pairs for no reason. So yeah,
Fair.
they're high on my list for that reason. The third one I was going to ask you. Okay, now I don't have a specific collab because I'm sure you will tell me your favorite out of all of these. This is a layup. Okay, as one of my students said, this assignment's an uncontested layup. You can't blow it. Okay, you cannot smoke this shot. The Vans Skate High.
The
That is the
van,
question I have for you. The Skate High from Vans. Talk to us about your grades on the Skate High.
the Skate High, uh, perfect shoe top down. Um, Let me see. Story. What do I have? I think I have. Um, these are skate highs over here. I don't know if you want to cut. Right? These are skate highs. Yeah, they are right here. It's nice when you just have them ready, right?
Right here, let me
We're
just
talking
reach
about
up
the,
and pull
yeah,
a shoe.
skate high.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm much more of a low person, even with other shoes. You know this,
Okay.
like the Travis Scotts. I like Jordan 1 lows more than I like Jordan 1 highs. So the skate highs for me, I'd rather get a old school like a lower. But I've really gravitated towards skate highs. I have so many pairs of them. I think much like the Chuck Taylor in West Coast style, like that. Any high shoe like that is going. PF Flyers is another one.
Yeah.
Any high top shoe like that is going to hit on the West Coast. And I think that Vans and the Skate High has done it to such a great level because it has those checkered boxes sometimes where you can color block through them. You can add a lot of color to them.
Okay.
Um, and it's just a timeless shoe. I, what is there, what else is there to say? They have great collabs. I mean, they do Supreme collabs. This one's with Awake, which is another great designer. Angelo, I know he said some things that I didn't really agree with him bringing stuff to whoever, but him at his core, he's a phenomenal designer. Um, so the work they've done with all these other brands is also cute. The Dub Taps, another great
Mm.
pair of highs. Yeah, it's a shoe that I'm probably gonna have a lot of my collection.
There you go.
Vans,
Well, I
Vans
wanted
are very easy.
yeah, I wanted to ask you a Vans one, but I was like, I wanted to try and find like the OG, and I feel like slip-ons are too simple. Almost went old school, but I was even gonna go with the new school because I know they just revamped some stuff on that model. But I figured the Skate High is OG enough that you'd have a lot on there. Do you have a favorite collab? Like, period. You mentioned Supreme. You mentioned a couple others. Like, do you have a
I
favorite
don't
collab?
I don't know if I have a favorite collab for those shoes. If I look it up, I probably would.
Yeah.
But like anything with dub taps, is like key. I don't know if they have. I know they have a skate high with them, but pretty much my favorite pairs is that navy Supreme denim one.
Okay.
That's like my go-to pair, and I know that's one of the pairs where people like, "Whoa, where'd you get that? I've never really seen that." And
Yeah.
it has Supreme on the back. That back hip Supreme is like perfect. It's like distressed a little bit, and it's navy. Like just navy shoes sometimes are nice, right? Like they're just a go-to with jeans, so it makes it really easy to style.
For sure. All right. Hit
But
me with your third. Yeah.
yes, you walked into my trap card.
Oh man.
Hit you with the Uno reverse because I knew you were gonna bring up something like this, and I wanted to get you the same way you wanted to get me with the Air Force One. So my last shoe is a shoe that I don't think I've ever seen you wear.
Uh-oh, here we go. What you got?
Because I want to know your thoughts on it, and it
Okay.
is, and I'm just gonna choose kind of the weirdest one because I don't think I've seen you wear this one either. It is the Vans New School.
Oh, you're right. I do not have any new schools. Okay.
And it's probably
So,
one of the most like poppin' shoe in like high schools, right? Like at least
for
the last few
sure.
years. Go ahead.
So it's funny you said the new school because Bape just announced they're doing one like yesterday. It popped across Sneaker News. That might be the first pair of new schools that I buy because I do love Bape as a brand and their collabs are great. Uh, but my man, because I was literally about to tell you my favorite Vans period, and it was not going to be the new school. So, uh, as far as a model, but I think the new schools are fun. So to me, okay, you said earlier Vans is very LA. And I grew up in Alabama. So everything that was West Coast in the 90s and early 2000s, at least on my run, at least to us, it's aspirational. Everything was aspirational about LA and California. You had all TV shows that like showed the bleach blonde hair and the waves and like, yeah, hang 10, dude, like all of that stuff. That was like the cultural push. To me, that's what LA looks like. I think Vans and the new school specifically speaks so much to a music scene that I do love. I love like punk and alternative music. To me, Vans and the new school and the old school, both pairs, they run so deep to me in like Warp Tour days. And I
Yep.
have been to Warp Tour. Went out to one in LA when I lived out in Las Vegas. And so to me, the Vans New School is an iconic shoe. So the looks, hands down, it's a great shoe. I think it fits just the black and white standard for me. It's a really good shoe. So I'm going to go on a limb here and go, that's one of the shoes that doesn't need the bright colors to look good. And when you wear it, people know. So I think that's big. Vans are not comfortable to me yet because I'm still trying to find the right the right version. I like half cabs and I have a couple of pair of half cabs. Those are nice. Those are the only ones that don't tear my heels up. So technically, I can't really speak too much on comfort. If I'm going to grade it fairly, though, I have the half cabs that are comfortable versus my slip-ons that are not. So Vans get a 5 out of 10, but I want to try some new schools. Do you have a pair of new schools, and do they fit true to size? That's the question I would
Yeah,
ask.
they're true to size. I have the Imran pair, the cheetah print one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that pair, the
I
Imran,
haven't.
the cheetah print. That's a loud pair. So go ahead
Okay,
and look it up.
I was gonna
They
look at
do
this.
they do fit true to size. What I was gonna say about them is like they have cushioning around the shoe, kind of like where it's bulky in like
Okay.
the
Ooh, I
what
do
is that
like
called?
those.
The
I
mids. That's not the midsole, is it? I'm like
Yeah.
bad on my sneaker stuff, but on the side of the shoes they have like padding, so it's a very comfortable shoe. It's
Okay.
almost like you put your foot in padding, kind of like you said the half cap. The half cap kind of has something similar, right? You put your
Yeah.
foot in there, and it feels like it's padded on the side. It's the same kind of there, so your heel should be fine. It's all
Okay.
about like the comfort of like kind of the soul of old school.
Okay.
Like, do you
So
like old school soles?
if I'm feeling you on this one, because I know Vans and like the Puma suedes have a similar bottom to it, right? Like their outsole at the bottom is real similar. It's close to the ground, and I like the Suede XL model, which is supposed to be like their skate version of a Puma suede. If new schools fit like that, then I can be in on a 10 out of 10 for comfort because I have a lot of Puma suedes and I do really like how they fit comfortably. So that puffy skate shoe vibe
Yeah,
really is
it's
big.
very comfortable up top. It just really depends on if you like the bottom sole or not.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this: I can be convinced it's a 10 out of 10 comfort. I like the black and white because, like I said, that hits on a nostalgia for me. You don't need the bright colors, although that pair that you mentioned about the cheetah print is loud and I like it. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. And the bait pair is not understated either. They released those things yesterday as far as like news that it's dropping. I think on the 15th. I'm in. That might be a thing. I might have to find a way to. Every sneaker that I buy at this juncture either is coming with me to Spain or it's going directly into storage to come over in year two. So I have to figure out, is it worth bumping my current 15 something out of that run? So that'll be
Yeah,
fun.
you're at a very integral point in sneaker collecting in your life. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cause that's the thing that talks me off the ledge of buying a pair is like, well, is it going directly in storage? Like I get to wear it for the next 45 days that I have left in America, or do I bring it over with me? Like that, yeah, that's definitely where we're at now as far as my buys. But okay. So not bad. All across all three runs. I like this. So at the end of the day, what I like about doing it this way is I'm pretty analytical when I buy shoes. You talked about how you're just kind of like, if it hits the look or if it hits the story you're in. I'm a little bit more analytical when it comes to it because I have limited space. And I've always had limited space. Even before we decided to make this move, I had limited space. So I couldn't just continue to buy, to buy, to buy. I had to eventually make some room. So I got to be a little more analytical when it comes to it, at least on my end. And it helps me also justify it to my wife when I'm like, oh, yeah, this pair has a great story. So I'm sure she's going to listen to this and be like, all right, I'm onto his game now.
I also want to like bring up that as you can see, all the shoes we brought out are shoes that we really like, regardless on if we've like never even had them or not.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you like how much we are within the culture. Like we could have easily brought out you could have easily brought out the Air Force, and I could have just been like, this shoe sucks. It's the worst shoe ever. You
Yeah.
know, because the Air Forces, for as much as they had like their run, it was a very East Coast shoe, right? Um, I could have brought up all that, got some clicks, and done all that stuff. But as people who are part of the culture and really want to be part of the culture, we oh no, I lost my train of
Oh,
thought.
you're good. You're talking about East
Yeah,
Coast and West Coast. Yeah.
yeah, as people who are part of the culture, we really just like shoes. So it was easy for us to just say, that's a shoe I like. I
For
like this
sure.
pair. I like this pair. I'm gonna go get a pair, right? And that's
Yeah.
because we really just like shoes.
For sure. And well, like I said with the new school, right? Like I've never had that pair, but if you can compare it to something that I know, then I can probably make a good bet on it. And that's not
Correct.
wrong. I definitely am in the run for a pair of new schools. If that bait pair is available, because there's always the questions about whether or not something's going to be available in our area or whether it sells out or it gets backdoored or botted, like all those things. So
Yep.
But well, I guess the point, bringing it to kind of a close, right? To kind of close out the idea of like, why do you grade? Why do you rubric things? I know in my world with AP testing, it is necessary to rubric everything and have it kind of set up to where, hey, you can hit certain marks and do well. And I guess what I would say, and I'll let you kind of close this out, it's good to know that there are certain things that sneaker brands can hit at, because it's more than just, oh, I'm buying this shoe, right? Like there's a reason behind it. So it kind of gives people room and things to hit at. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I also want to hit on this point of like the brands are doing it because they want us to buy shoes. We know that,
Yeah.
right? We're not looking at this from the brand's perspective. We're looking at this from an educator's perspective as somebody who makes like rubrics to grade to possibly buy something. Like we're not going like, oh my goodness, they're so great at their jobs because they made us buy more shoes. We're just putting that shoe that they've made into the rubric and saying, is this functional? Is this working? Right? We know that they want to sell the shoes. That's what their job is.
Yeah,
However, as a teacher, we do have to be critical, right? We can't just like, oh, well, it's their job, so that's fine. Sometimes they don't hit the rubric, right?
for
And
sure.
other times they know what the rubric is and they go back to it. That's not them like, um, that's not us not understanding that. That's their marketing, of course, but um, we wanted to make the rubric through a teacher lens, right? And I
Yeah,
think sometimes people miss that part where we're we're like educators trying to finagle sneaker culture through the educational lens. Um, we both know that Nike's end goal is to sell us as much shoes as long as along with Saucony and all these other brands.
yeah,
But we just wanted to do something fun and show you guys our perspective on it.
for sure. And it's been fun. And this is something that I think we can do again later on in the year. We'll definitely have to do it when we come up with sneakers of the year, and how we can kind of combat the Foot Locker boys and actually like put a science to it.
Stop. Why are you like this?
Oh man, because at least at the end of the year we can validate our choice. It's not just somebody slipped us a couple grand and made some
Why
publicity
are you
highlights.
still going? Why are you still going? You are like, wait, does anyone call them the Foot Locker Boys? Is that a thing? Or is that
I've
you?
heard. I've seen it online. I've seen it online.
Okay,
I can't take credit for it. I can't take credit for it. There's definitely some people who have said it online and use it in like Reddit threads and stuff.
okay.
Uh, so that's not me. But all right. Well, it's been fun. And up until next week, ladies and gents, like I said, this has been Lesson Plans to Laces. I'm James Alidor,
I am Mr. Guzman, Teacher Heat.
and we will see you guys next week. Peace.